Hey guys, it's Gary Wong with GaryWongRealty.com again. People know me as the Christian Realtor. I'm also the author of the book on Vancouver real estate. Welcome to another episode of Possession Date Horror Stories. Horror! Today I'm going to talk about a story of a great friend of mine. I helped him buy a property in New Westminster. Great property, newly built. When we saw the home with the listing agent, he said, if you're interested in any of the furniture, just let me know. I can include it in the price, etc. So we liked most of the furniture there and we said, yeah, we'd like this and this and this. And he said, yeah, don't worry about it, I'll cover it. And we wrote the offer like that. Unfortunately, on possession date, horror! We go see the property and the sofa was there, the TV was there, but the TV remote was missing. And the cable, the AC adapter to connect the TV to the outlet was missing. Seriously? So it's pretty self-explanatory that if you're going to include a TV with the property, you're going to include the remote and the power adapter. For some reason, the seller didn't. So obviously I had to address that, talk to the listing agent. Listing agent said, oh, okay, I didn't notice that. I'll get that. Another issue, my client was like, well, the sofa is there, but where's the ottoman? The ottomans should be there. I talked to the listing agent. Listing agent's like, well, you didn't mention the ottoman. Well, I had assumed that the couch would include the ottoman. Usually when you write contracts for a buyer and you want to include certain furniture, you don't really include the specific brand name, color, model number, all that stuff. It's pretty self-explanatory when you just say, I want the TV to be included, I want the couch to be included, etc. But in this particular case, rare occasion, the listing agent, the seller thought, well, they wanted the couch, but they didn't say they wanted the ottoman, so the seller just took the ottoman. So I had to talk to the listing agent. We want the ottoman. It's supposed to be included. He was like, nope, you didn't include it. So I had to argue back and forth. Meanwhile, my client's pissed, right? He's like, Gary, why didn't you, make sure that it's included in the contract, etc. So at the end, I said to the listing agent, okay, is the seller willing to sell that ottoman? And he said, yeah, okay. I'm like, how much? He's like, 150 bucks. I'm like, deal, I'll buy it. So I bought the ottoman. I got that, delivered it to my client, made him feel a little bit better. Also, another issue was there was a wall fixture. It was basically a wine rack, like a magazine rack that they stored wine on, and that was fixed to the wall, and meaning screwed into the wall. So when you write a contract, you say basically the seller will remove all chattels that is not fixed to the property. So if something is fixed to the property, like the island is fixed to the floor, or if there's a wall mount that's fixed to the wall, something like that, it's usually left behind. You can't assume, or like there's shelving that's fixed to the wall. It's defined by the law that, oh, fixed, it's nailed down to the wall or the floor or something like that. So not mandatory to say like you must include the kitchen cupboards. It's fixed to the wall. It's clear. It's obvious. It's self-explanatory. However, for this particular rack that can store magazines or wine bottles, the seller just ripped it out of the wall and took it. I was not too happy about that. We were expecting that, and we don't have to write those kind of things. We don't write down fixtures in the contract. Just chattels, stuff that's movable. Chattels, you gotta write it down, if like the ottoman or like the rug or the table or whatever. But if it's fixed to something, it's a fixture. Unfortunately, seller, I guess the listing agent didn't communicate with the seller. It was missed out. So my client was angry. What can you do about it next time? You could write down every model, name, color of every single item and put it in the contract. But like I said last time in the other story, the seller, if they wanted to screw the buyer, they can. And there's very little you can do about it. Well, very few people are going to take the seller to court over a $300 ottoman or a $200 wine rack or magazine rack. Very difficult. So I usually now, when I talk with my clients and they say, oh, well, I like the furniture, I like this, I say, you know what? When it's related to furniture and stuff, you talk with the seller directly after we get an accepted offer just on the property. We're just gonna try to buy and sell just the property, not include the furniture. Yes, you could include the furniture into the contract, but it makes the contract a little bit gray. And when something is missed unintentionally or intentionally, one party, obviously the buyer, is going to be mad. Once again, I tell my clients now, if you're interested in any of the furniture or any of the chattels being the things that are not fixed, negotiate that with the seller directly and let that be separate from buying or selling the property. That keeps it between the seller and the buyer, and that makes things a lot simpler. It's basically Craigslist deal. You provide the property, you provide the product, I provide the cash, and let the realtors be separate from that deal. Thanks for listening. Hope you found value in it. Gary Wong from GaryWongRealty.com. And until next time, God bless you. Thanks guys for watching my video. Please subscribe and share with your friends. Email me if you have any more questions. Thank you.